everybody, welcome back. I'm Faisal. In this video I'm going to teach you how you can create your own professional chat room where people can come and join and start chatting with one another, pretty much like the old Yahoo Messenger thing. So let's start creating that right now. First thing you may need is the XAMPP package or WAMP, whatever you prefer, but I'm going to use XAMPP. So you need to start XAMPP control panel. After that, go to your htdocs folder and create a new folder says chat system. So I have already created it and it is empty. So you need to start first two services, Apache and MySQL. After that you can close it because it will keep running down here. Okay, so once it is ready, you can check whether it is ready or not by typing localhost and hit enter. You will see a XAMPP dashboard. So let me open PHP myadmin, which is the database backend. So you can go to PHP myadmin page and just wait for a second until it loads. Okay, so now right here you can create a new database. For example, my database name is chat underscore system or whatever name you want to give. Okay, so I am inside chat system database. Let's create some files inside this folder. First of all, I want to add this folder inside my Sublime text. Okay, so XAMPP htdocs chat underscore system and select it. So it is now selected. So let's start creating some files. First file will be, where's the new file? That will be index.php, of course. Next thing will be config.php, where I'm going to write the connection with my database. So let's start writing the connection. So there will be a PHP block, and inside that block what I'm going to write is I'm going to connect my database with this page. So I'm going to use PDO for this purpose. So it will have three parameters. First one will be like MySQL database. So I'm telling that database is MySQL and the host name will be, so let's declare some variables at the top. The host name will always be localhost. Next we will be have db name, and that is chat underscore system that I have just created. db user, that will be root by default if you install XAMPP or WAMP, and password will be empty. Okay, so you need to write db host variable right here. We have already defined it here, so we are just passing here. Next, the second parameter will be db name after semicolon. So db name will be $db name. We already made a variable right here. Now the second parameter will be the db user, and the last parameter will be db password. Okay, so now the connection has been made. So you can leave this file right here. Okay, let's open this file inside my browser as well to see whether it is running correctly. Localhost / chat underscore system, and then I want to browse config.php file. So when I hit enter, you will see no errors right here. So if I change something, for example database name, to some wrong database that does not exist in my database right here, so when I hit refresh, you will see an error saying that unknown database chat underscore system1, which means the connection has been made successfully. Okay, so you can wrap this inside the try catch condition as well if you want to. And it will be have PDO exception, and then we can echo out the error or message. Okay, so now take a look at this. You can see this error, a very long error saying the database does not exist. When I hit refresh, you will see unknown database chat underscore one. So now it is actually catching the error by this PDO object. Okay, so this is done. Now you can close this file. The next step is to write some HTML right here. So what I can do is I can press tab and the whole structure will be there. So I can write chat system. By the way, if you don't know how I am getting this, for example, I typed exclamation mark and hit tab, you will see a complete bunch of code right here. And if I type div with a class name and hit tab, you will see a div will be automatically created. So I'm using actually Emmet plugin that offers to do all of this functionality. So this is the plugin of Sublime Text. If you don't know, let me know how you can install it. If you don't know, I can make a separate video on that also. Let me know just in the comments. Okay, so the next thing is I want to create some divs. So let me write div with a class of chat or chat history, and another div with a class of chat box. Inside here I'm going to write a form with a class of, or let's leave the class. You can just write its method, and action will be empty, method will be post. Now inside here I'm going to just write a text area and give it a name of something, for example chat message or khali or message. And then what we need is some styling, so let's include a style files, link, rel, href, and then type will be text slash css, and href will be includes, or let's leave it, let's write style.css, and you can write style sheet right here. Okay, let's create this style.css file now and save it as style.css and write some styling. First of all, I'm going to the remove the by default padding and margin. Next, I am going to design it. So the chat box will be like a huge box of max height or min height. Let's write minimum height of this box will be 400 pixels, and the width will be of 1000, or let's write 600 pixels. Give it a margin of 10 pixels auto and padding of 10 pixels. That's it. Now hit refresh to see what we get inside index.php file. You will see, okay, so there is nothing. Okay, so let me check what I'm doing wrong. Height, width, let's add a background color that will be gray. Okay, so hit refresh. Now here is the box. I want to make this text area as centralized as well. So what I can do here is I can wrap everything inside a div with a class of centralized, cut it and paste it down here. So now I can design this class and make it centralized. Okay, so hit refresh. Now you will see in just a second. I need to define its width also, I think 1000 pixels, and everything inside it will be centralized. Okay, so here is our text area. Now I can design the text area also. So I'm going to give it a class txt area, copy it, paste it right here for designing, and I can just copy everything and paste it right here and remove the extra things. So width, and I can remove the height to 100. Now let me refresh and you will see there is a text area. So whatever I will type here and I will hit enter, it will start showing right here with my name and all the previous chat as well. So let's increase its height to 700 so that it will reach at the bottom. Let's make it to 600 or 550. Okay, so it's cool now. Next thing is, whenever I type something, I want to call some jQuery methods. So first of all, because I'm going to use jQuery inside it, I need to include its library. So I need to search for jQuery CDN link. Once I found it, I need to just copy and paste it inside my file. Uncompressed, copy this link, and I need to just paste it right here anywhere where you want to. Now I can use the jQuery code inside my script. So whenever I type something inside this text area, so I can target it with its ID or name. So for example, its name is ID is message. So I'm going to target it like this way. So if I want to call a method on this div on this thing that have an ID of message, I can call a method that will be key up. And then, by the way, this is the format of jQuery. That's how you can write jQuery code, and that's how you can call a function. So let's write something, for example, pre-pressed. Okay, so now whenever I type something here, you will see a message key pressed. Now if I write B, you will see an alert again. When I type C, you will see an alert again. So what I can do here is I can catch its value. So message is equals to dollar this dot var. So now means this message. So whatever inside this message div, which is actually this text area, so whatever inside it, I am catching its value and storing it inside a variable. Now at the end, I am going to alert that variable that I have just made right here. Okay, so now whatever I will type here, it will be alert in this pop-up. So now AB will be alerted here. Okay, so what if I write E here, which stands for event, and I write E here. Okay, so now refresh, and if I type A, you will see, sorry, my bad. Okay, so now if I type A, you will see a number 65, which is an ASCII number of every keyboard character. If I type B, it is 66. If I now look at this, if I press this enter button, you will see a 13 number. So what I want to do right here is I want to add a simple check, says if the ASCII number 13 is pressed, which means I want to send this message inside this database. Okay, so inside here I want to call a jQuery post method. So it will have two parameters. First one is string, second one will be a callback function. So inside this callback we are going to catch some response. Okay, so I'm going to send this request to handlers slash AJAX.php page, which is not yet created. I'm going to create that in just a minute with some variables. I'm passing some variable. First one is action, second one will be message. That's it. Right now I'm going to send these two variables. So let's create that folder. name handlers, and inside that folder I'm going to create a new file that will be AJAX.php. Now inside this file I'm going to write some PHP code. If is set $_request, you can write request or $_post as well. If the value of action is set, then I'm going to write a switch case condition, switch with this variable catch, and add some cases inside it. So case 1 will be if the action parameter will have a value of send message, then I'm going to do something inside this block. So for example, right now I'm going to echo out something coming from ajax.php file. So now that's how it will work. Whenever I type something inside the message text area, it will always call this function. Now inside this function I have added a condition that whenever I press enter key, it should send a post request to this PHP page. So now this PHP page is right here, and now when the action parameter value is matched, it will echo out this value. Echo means return some value to this variable. So at the end I'm going to alert this response variable. Now hit refresh and write whatever you want to, and then hit enter. Now you will see alert coming from the ajax.php file. So right now everything is working fine. Okay, so next thing is I want to insert that message inside my database. So let's create some table first of all. So my table name is chat. It will have like 5 columns. First column will be ID, second will be user, third one will be message, and then some date. So when this message has been sent. Okay, so you can select timestamp, text on this message. User will have a varchar of 255. Make this primary key and auto increment as well. Okay, so save it. Now we have a table created. Okay, so you can see all of the columns have been made. I don't think we need any other column. Okay, so before using any database query right here, we need to include that config.php file right in this file. So you can just write include, go back one step, and then include config.php file. So now we can use database connection right here. So remember, we have a variable of db inside is my config.php file. db you can target at and call a prepare function, which is actually a PDO function. So I'm going to store that inside a variable. So right here I need to write an insert query. Insert into table name. What was the table name? It was chat. Insert into chat, set some values. First one is user, and I will give its value later. Second one will be message. That's it. Now down here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to execute this prepared query. Before executing, I need to pass two values. First one is the user value, second one is the message value. I mean, what I want to insert in these two columns. So we need to type two things here. First one will be the user's value, so it will be like Faisal for now. Second one will be whatever user have typed inside that text area. So remember, we are actually passing that value by this variable that is called message. So you can write it right here. After this you can just write success or 1, whatever you want to. Now let's see if it inserts in my database or not. Hello, hit enter. You will see a message. So remember, I changed the database name to chat system 1, which I forgot to correct. Sorry. So hit enter again and you will see 1 here. Now when I go back here, browse it, and you will see 1 record will be inserted. with the name of Faisal and a message is hello, whatever I have typed inside here. Okay, so everything till here is working. Now I want to show the old chats in this box. So this is very simple. You need to just write a function here, function load chat, and just copy this post request, paste it right here, and get chat, pass an action of get chat, and remove everything else. We have a response. I want to show that response inside a div instead of alerting out. So the div I want to show my old chat is chat history. So I can target it by writing dot. Remember, it has a class of chat history. So in order to target a class, you need to write dot. In order to target a div or id, you need to write hash. Okay, so inside this I want to show all the chat. So let's create this action inside ajax.php. So create another case with a break. Now in here I just need to fetch all the records. So let me copy all of this, paste it here. Instead of alert insert, sorry, I can add a query of select static from chat, and that's it. Now we don't need to pass anything inside this execute method because we don't have any variable to pass. Okay, once it is executed, I can what we need to write here is to write fetch all with a PDO object, and we have all the object inside this t variable or whatever variable I want to. So now we have a complete chat inside this rs command in rs variable. So let's run a while loop on this object, and let's create a variable called chat and append all the messages inside it. So I can write rs. Now this message variable is actually a column name that is defined right here. So I can simply write message with a br for now, or an hr. So this chat variable should have been defined above this while loop. Now at the end I'm going to echo this chat variable. That's it. Now when you hit refresh, we need to just call this method when the page is loaded successfully. So you can write $document.ready and call this method. Okay, so now when I hit refresh, you will see there is an error. So the error is on line number 35. We have an error saying that I have a semicolon at the end. Now when I hit refresh, you will see trying to get property of non-object on line number 37, which is not good. So fetch all PDO object. Okay, so what we can do right here is we can paste it here, and inside here we can write a for each loop instead of a while loop. You can write $rs as $r or whatever variable you want to give it, and then hit refresh. So you will have all the chat. Okay, so actually this is centralized, that's why it is showing inside at the center. So I can fix that right now because I made it centralized. So everything is now centralized. I can make it text align left. Okay, so it is now fixed. So who sent this message? You can just write copy this, paste it right here, and you can write says user is user. So Faisal says hello. Okay, so everything is working. One last thing that I can do before closing this video is I can call this method call chat whenever I successfully send the message. So now I hit refresh and ABC, hit enter. You will see ABC will be here. I want to empty this text area as well. So what we can do here is you can write dot text area or ID of text area, ID message dot value empty. Okay, so ABC enter and the value is gone and the message is right here. Okay, so the next step is to check whether it is working on all of the browsers. So by default it will not. So let's check it out. So I want to open it inside my some account. So let me copy this URL and paste it right here, hit enter, and now let's open both of these side by side if I can. Yes, hit refresh. Now you see both of the chats are here. So if I type hello here, you will see the message will appear here but not at this screen. So we need to fix this. In order to fix it, what you need to do is you need to write some interval. So I guess it was set interval with a function and a delay of, let's say, 2 seconds. So after each 2 seconds I want to call this method. That's it. Now hit refresh and hit refresh. So if I send something from here, hit enter, you will see in a second it will start appearing here as well. Okay, so this fixes this issue, and all the chat are actually going inside this database. I can actually empty these out for testing this from the start. Okay, so let me create two files. First one is user1.php, second one is user2.php, and we have many users. So first one is user1 and I can write session underscore start dollar underscore session. Actually I am creating a session variable for different names. So this is my name. Let me copy all of these and paste it right here, and the user2 will be Alex, John, or whatever I want to name it. Okay, so now inside my AJAX.php what I can do is I can start a session, and then instead of manually passing the name I can write the session variable which is actually storing some name. That's it. Now hit refresh right here as a user1 value is now set. Go back to index.php. Now on the second page or the second browser I can browse as user2, and once it is done I can go back to index.php. Okay, now whenever I will send a message it will be Faisal says hello, because user1 is actually Faisal, hello Faisal, and then the Alex says hello Faisal, and it is start appearing right here. So now both of these are working. You can design these according to your requirement. For example, you can give them a div like this instead of an HR. Okay, so when you hit refresh you will see the divs will be here instead of these lines. You can give them a class of single message or whatever you want to name it, and design it inside your style.css. You can make their font size smaller, some padding, and border at the bottom. Okay, so hit refresh and you will see some effects. Okay, so that's how you can change according to your requirement, according to your need. One more thing, you can add a strong tag here as well, so the name will be a little bold. Okay, so you can already see the effect. Okay, that's how for this tutorial. I think it is pretty long, about a half an hour long. So I will see you in the next video. Let me know if you want to see me more doing programming, because I am making this video after a long time and I don't know if you're liking it or not. So let me know in the comments. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye for now.